Today we will be assembling the 840. To install the handlebars, start by using the provided 6mm Allen wrench to loosen the two bolts and remove the stem faceplate. Next, align and center the handlebar in the stem. Check that the handlebar orientation matches the image shown and that the cables are not twisted. Reinstall the stem faceplate and two bolts by hand using the 6mm Allen wrench to tighten the bolts. Be sure to evenly tighten each bolt for a little bit at a time to evenly space the top and the bottom. The bolt should be tightened to 10 to 12 Newton meters. Prior to installing the front wheel, use the provided 15mm wrench to loosen and remove the two nuts securing the spacer to the fork. Discard the spacer and the nuts. Next, remove the nut and the washer from each side of the wheel. Finally, squeeze the brake arms together and move the rotating metal linkage downwards to detach the two sides of the front brake assembly. Align the front wheel so that the fork dropouts rest on the axle and the wheel is centered. Place the washer over the threaded ends of the front axle. Insert the bent tab into the hole on the dropouts. Use the 15mm wrench to tighten the nuts on either side of the axle to 28 to 32 Newton meters. When tightening, be sure to push down on the handlebar to ensure the wheel is fully seated in the dropouts. To reassemble the front brake, press the brake arms together and hook the metal tube back into the linkage. Slide the cover back over the brake cable. For ideal performance, you might need to tune the brakes. Before installing the saddle, deploy the kickstand to allow the bike to stand freely. Open the quick release lever and insert the seat post into the seat tube. Position the seat post at an appropriate height for the ride. See the owner's manual for reference on seat height. In general, your legs should be almost fully extended with a slight bend in the knee when the pedal is in the furthest down position. Finally, tighten the adjustment nut on the quick release clamp, then close the quick release lever. Prior to installing the pedals, start by identifying the right and the left pedals. The different pedals are specified with their respective stickers. Install the right pedal to the right-hand crank arm by turning the axle clockwise by hand. Use the provided 15mm wrench to tighten each pedal onto the crank arm to 35 to 40 Newton meters. Install the left pedal to the left-hand crank arm by turning the axle counterclockwise by hand. Use the provided 15mm wrench to tighten each pedal onto the crank arm to 35 to 40 Newton meters. To install the reflectors, start by using a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the screw from the mounting portion of each reflector. Mount the white reflector to the front of the handlebar. Tighten the screw to secure the reflector. Mount the red reflector to the back of the seat post. Please note the face of the reflector should be facing directly backwards and not tilted downwards. Tighten the screw to secure the reflector in place. You are now ready to roll.